We're alive, Trustee.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you for coming to the Fire Department Committee meeting via Zoom on December 1st, 2021 at 6:30. Myself, Trustee Belcher is present. Trustee Brown.
Present.
Trustee Holmes.
Here.
We do have a quorum. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Trustee Norwood is on. Fire Chief McCain is on. And our media person, Ontario. Thank you guys for joining in. Pledge of Allegiance. Did everyone stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Trustee Holmes, can you do the prayer for us?
Sure, I got it. Heavenly Father, we'd like to thank you for bringing those together for this meeting and enhance the quality of life of everyone. Hopefully that we can have a peaceful meeting. We send our blessing and with the blood of Jesus over the arm of the village of Dalton and throughout the city and the state of Illinois.
Amen. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge Trustee House just got on. General announcements. Do anyone have any announcements? Well, I'd like to give an announcement. Over the weekend at the fire department, I really experienced something that was very nice. Most times and not often, we don't give credit to the ones that help us in time of need. A young lady named Miss Shamika put something together to show her appreciation for the Dalton Fire Department and the bus ambulance. A year ago on November 28th, she was at a T-Mobile store in Dalton. The response time was 42 seconds. I believe she was having a heart attack. They saved her life. And she was so grateful that she wanted to show her appreciation. So she put something together and came to the fire department on Sunday to show her appreciation. So I just like to acknowledge that Chief McCain was there. You might can elaborate on it, but I just thought it was very, very great that the fact that it is some, we all go through stuff, and when the ambulance comes, they don't know what happens to that person once they drop you off at the hospital. And she stated she was in the hospital for a month and a half. Some things she don't even know what happened prior to that, but she did research to try to thank those that helped her save her life. So Chief, you want to give a little insight on that?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Trustee Belcher. Good evening, everyone in the audience. Like Trustee Belcher said, first of all, I'd like to thank you for getting this opportunity for the young lady to reach out to the medics on Buzz, as well as the firemen on the Dalton Fire Department. The Dalton Fire Department, Buzz Amos, we work hand in hand. We respond to all the calls in the community together. And right there was a situation like a year ago where the young lady was unresponsive, not breathing, no pulse. And it was great to see teamwork at its finest to bring someone back to life. And like I told the young lady who we were able where she was able to acknowledge us, we're able to acknowledge her, that it was great because fire and EMS are really unsung heroes. And we do this every day. We're not looking for a pat on the back. It's our job. We love saving lives and property. It's cliche, but it's true. And it was really nice of her to come back and thank the firefighters and paramedics that saved her life, because it's really an unsung hero job. And it was really great to see her and her being healthy and her being able to thank those who saved her life. So it was really nice day put together, impromptu, last minute, and it worked out really well. And I thank you for making that happen. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of it, I'm gonna send some pictures so I can share my screen. Since this is my meeting, I can share the screen. Old business. process of the new hire. So our last fire meeting, we did approve 2 new firefighters. They're in the process of doing all of the human resource stuff to be acclimated. Is that correct, Fire Chief?
That is correct. I just went through the list, and following the eligibility list, I called individuals, I sent emails, and the first 2 individuals who have taken the unofficial order as far as getting hired. They know it's a conditional offer of employment. They have to go through a rigorous background check. They have to do a psychological, they have to do a polygraph, a medical, as well as a criminal and job history background check before they move forward to being formally hired. So I was hoping just to let everyone know the process of that. They're going to go through their backgrounds now and then move on from there. But it's a very vigorous process that police and fire do because of our line of work. And hopefully we'll get everything squared away by the first executive board meeting in January to get it formally approved at that point.
Okay. That's all we had for old business. New business. Any trustees, do you have any questions, comments? All right. Yeah, we got, now this is gonna be a quick meeting. New business is hopefully that the hiring of the 2 firefighters from the current eligibility list will be acclimated for our January 3rd board meeting of 2022. So we just want to formally consent that for them finishing up the process January 3rd, which will go into our new year, that we can acclimate them for that meeting. Trustee Brown?
I'm fine with it. And I think it's the 6th is our new meeting, correct?
No, the 6th. No, it's
Board meeting.
The 3rd, January 3rd, 2022. This
Okay,
is for
I'm
January.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong date. I apologize.
All right. Trustee Holmes?
Yes, I am on a board with it. I had briefly talked with the chief before, and we were in agreements that, they're going to work to try to hire some females. And I appreciate that coming, from the chief and fire department. And also, even with the police department, we need more females on the job.
Okay. All righty. Okay, so we have a consensus to move that forward for them after their training or everything they need to go through to be acclimated for January 3rd board meeting. Okay, the next one is on the new business promotion of Jermel Brim to fire captain on the January 3rd, 2022 board meeting also. So we did, in a meeting that we talked about prior, that the captain spot will be coming available. Kane was the captain and he's now the chief. So that position is vacated. So we need to promote to that position. It's also already budgeted into our promotion. So there's no additional expenses. This was something that was already budgeted into. Pete, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you again. Jermel Brim, he's been a member of this department since 2006. His 1 year as lieutenant will be on December the 8th. And based on the collective bargaining agreement, the senior lieutenant moves up to the next captain vacancy. And that would be Jermel Brim. And at that point, that first board meeting in January, I would also like to see moving forward with Jermel Brim's formal promotion to captain as well. So I applaud him, and I applaud the other recent promotions we went through with Lieutenant Brandon Williams, Lieutenant Adam Fari, and Lieutenant Rob Treemstra, as well as Engineer John Smith and Engineer Nick Treemstra that were able to formalize last month as well. So moving forward and hitting our benchmarks within the people in the right positions, and that is budgeted for also. So we're making good progress, and I appreciate the mayor and the board for making these things happen for our community and for our fire department. So thank you.
Thank you for doing all that you do. And also, I just want to say, although we we have this budgeted, it actually helps us because when they're promoted to where they should be based on contracts, it minimizes the overtime. So that helps with talking finances in reference to who's being overtime, how many staff, or what position needs to be on at that time. It helps the fire department in that respect of the overtime situation, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, because when there's not an officer on duty, either the senior qualified person would act up and they would get overtime opportunities acting up in that position. And the engineer spot is very, it's detrimental as well, because making sure that we have the proper amount of drivers working too. So making sure the right people are in place, not only financially, but making sure you have the right qualified people in positions to make decisions for the emergency calls that we go on. So.
All right, great. Trustees, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns?
No. So that will open up spots for firemen, correct? Since we promoted those 3 guys to lieutenant. I know we have 2 coming on, correct?
Correct. 24 is the magic number that we need to get to. The budget for this fiscal year only allocates for 19. So regardless of rank, the positions were still there anyways. So once we get the 24 individuals, and it takes a year for folks to be moving up into the ranks based on collective bargaining, they have to pass probation, have certain certifications in order to drive. So you have to get them in the firefighter ranks first before they could take the test and go through the whole promotional process for the engineer spots, and then lieutenant and captain, so on and so forth. So it's a process.
Yes. Yeah. Understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, at least we're getting halfway
to
where we need to be. But absolutely, thanks for an outstanding job that you do over there. So want to say thank you to you and your team. Outstanding job that you guys do.
Thank you, Trustee.
Trustee House, I see your hand is raised. Trustee House? Okay. If you're speaking, you're on mute, but I did see your hand raised.
His call just dropped, so I'm gonna let him in as soon as he get back on.
Okay. Trustee Norwood?
Yeah, I just to piggyback for Chief McCain, I just want to say I thank the fire department. You all know you saved me years ago, and I'm still thanking you all, but you all are still keeping up the good work and making me a proud resident. So I thank you, and thanks again, Chief McCain, and your whole department.
Thank you, Trustee. I appreciate it. That's and not knowing until recently that you were one of the individuals off of Greenwood that fateful evening. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad we were there that day to make sure you're here today. So I'm sorry you went through that, but that horrific event, but you and a few others that we had to rescue that evening. So that's what we train for. That's why we need manpower and proper working equipment. And you are living proof of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Trustee House, you're back on. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much. You know, that computer issues. Chief McCain, can you kind of talk about like where you guys are at on overtime wise and any impact that they may be having? We want to make sure that, as you mentioned, we're giving as much support as possible, and then if there's plans we could work on to make things better, we want to assist in doing that.
Great question. The overtime is high. Basically, we took a large hit for numerous reasons. One, when I became the chief, I left the line, so I'm no longer a line member as the captain, so you lose that spot. And then we lost Bobby Morgan when he passed away. We lost him, and then with Mr. Sewell moving on to another place of employment, we lost him. And these are officer and engineer spots, and now we're finally playing catch up. So you throw that in the mix as well as the summer season of vacation time. It was a perfect storm that created tremendous amount of excessive work hours. So now we're in the process of fixing that by promoting people, hiring people, and it usually takes about a year to really straighten that out by having adequate staffing and then having their time on the job so they could be promoted to those engineer or lieutenant positions to reduce the overtime. So I knew it was going to be a challenging financial year. However, we had some unforeseen circumstances on top of that. So that is why the overtime budget is high. I just went through that with Chris today, earlier, and we may be, and it's my recommendation to the board and to Chris as well, is once I go through the line items and seeing where we're at, since we didn't hire right away, we had monies allocated in those budgets, in those line item spots, we might be able to move some of those funds around because some of those funds may not be used. And because the choice of hampering hiring people without having people there was going to create overtime. So it's basic math, and I recognize where the problems are. And then we had some unforeseen circumstances that created a domino effect, but we're making the mend now, and I appreciate everyone moving forward with that. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. And my last comment, I think, kind of similar to Trustee Norwood. I just want to thank you and the team for what you guys do. And please, if there's anything that, from the board standpoint, I know you work with Trustee Belcher as the chair, but we want to be supportive.
Yeah, everyone's great. I mean, from the mayor to the board of trustees through the administration, we are getting jobs done. It's slowly but surely we're getting there. So amongst the chaos, we are making improvements, and I appreciate everyone for that. And the results will show, and hopefully in a year from May, we'll be in a better place than we were last year at that time. And you know, our partnership with the surrounding communities and Bud's Ambulance, and I'm sure many of you do know, we had the large fire at Ardaw on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and you know, we get house fires on a regular basis, and kitchen fires and utility room fires, but the large scale incidents like that was a 3-alarm fire. Hopefully the problem is resolved as far as what happened with the furnace, but it's a difficult task because it's very hot in the building because it's a furnace and it's like a volcano. It's like a lava fire, you know, so it's real labor intensive for the crews. And, you know, it's great to have the partnership with all the surrounding towns to get through that incident. We're able to save the building, save the property, and keep the tax money coming in to support our needs as well as the rest of the village. So we're doing our job just like everyone else, and you know, working side by side with the police department and public works as well. So it's a real team effort, and you know, teamwork makes the dream work. So I think that's all I got at this point. But any other questions for me?
You need to spread that saying around.
But teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would just like to comment on in announcements that I do know that this is the time where we have live trees and ornaments and lights and stuff. So we want the residents and everyone to definitely watch, make sure their live trees are watered, watch the lighting and stuff. Those are things that cause fires, but just to be safe during this time. So I do want to say that. And also, Ontario, I want to share my screen.
Madam Chair, can I make one announcement about Station 2? I forgot to add that in old business for progress.
Sure.
Okay, so right now, the areas that were infected have been gutted down to the studs, and I believe, what day is today? Sorry, I'm losing my mind, but Thursday, the company should be out spraying any of the mold. So we're making progress, hopefully get this open by the end of the year, early next year. So making progress with that as well.
That'll be great.
Great
We
job.
definitely need that fire
Yes.
station back up and going.
Yes, correct.
Good
Trustee,
job.
you can share your screen when you're ready.
And I do want to thank Scott Gilmore for helping out with that as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madam Chair, might be recognized. I have a comment.
Yes, go ahead, trustee.
Yeah, my comment is, you know, I want to thank the complete fire department, because, it is a race against time, whether to save a life, whether it's a gunshot victim, car crash victim, heart attack, blood pressure victim. So it's a race against time that, we keep that fire department fully staffed, and thank you all for working together. We need to get that other station open, but we're doing the best we can. And thank you for your leadership as chair over the fire department there. And I like to personally thank that fire department, because see, they're hand in hand working with the police department, because they were on a fire scene, had that fire under control. If it wasn't for their eyes, and when I say their eyes, there was some criminal activity along that street. And if it wasn't for the eyes of the fire department, that personnel or that person would be still there probably right now today. And I don't want to get into too much of the intel on the criminal activity that was there. Just want the police department to finish investigating it, but I just want to give my thumbs up, not take my hat off, but take my helmet off to the fire department, because if they hadn't been for their eyes, this individual probably would have been still out there today. So thank you so much. The training that you all do over there. Thank you for staying in-house to upgrade the personnel to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Ontario, it says host disabled participants share screen sharing.
Okay, try now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Where am I at? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was, the young lady right there. Yep. And the young lady with the roses, the Bud's ambulance paramedic, she was on the ambulance that day.
Hold on. I just got a couple of pictures because I really think this was definitely worth, letting people know how valuable our departments are. And I just wanted to share a couple of photos. I had that video. I didn't know that was gonna come up first, but I just wanted to share a couple of the photos.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a great moment. And right there you have Jay Fonz and Lance Bergeron, and they were on the fire crew that day with the Bud's ambulance crew. And a lot of people always ask why the fire department goes on medical runs, and right there's the reason, because we need more hands on the scene to help with CPRs, help with intubating, ambu bag, the 12 lead monitor, getting information, moving the stretcher around. So it takes more than just two people. So right there, it just shows how everyone works together, and I'm proud of those guys. Those are upstanding, and they're both paramedics as well, and they're fantastic. And obviously that young lady in the middle there, she wouldn't be there without those two individuals, as well as the young lady Jen from Bud's, and worked a lot of calls with Jen when I was on the street before I moved back into the office. But she's a great paramedic too. And the other individual, Matt, he moved to Indianapolis. He got a job out of state, but they were able to have a phone conference together. And it was an emotional time for everyone. So it was great bringing that together, and seeing the end result, which was a life saved. So I'm proud of everyone involved with that.
And there's everybody's picture. I just wanted, the residents and people to see that, that you guys are doing excellent jobs and you're appreciated. And even though we not see it on a daily basis, but people are always watching, saying in appreciation of it.
Yeah,
All
thank
right. So now I can stop sharing my screen. I thought I had when Jen first came in, but I don't have it right here. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna go into public comment. So,
Trustee
Ontario,
Belcher, Trustee
yes,
Belcher.
yes,
Real quick before public comment, just to piggyback off of something you stated in regards to the trees, like the fallen trees. When it rains real bad, I know that some streets flood, especially like on the west end. On my end, we have a lot of blocks that sometimes when the rain hits, it floods. And what I've learned is that it's not always flooding. Sometimes we have leaves and tree branches and those sort of things in the sewer. So just for residents, sometimes when it rains, I just want you all to know if it looks like it's raining a little hard, just be mindful. Maybe you may want to go to the sewers and just make sure your sewer is clean so it can so it won't clog up the drain and have water all on the block and cause an overflow. So I just wanted to state that for the residents, because I know my block is always one of those blocks, and I just started raking moving the thing, blocking the sewage, stopping the blockage on the sewage, and now we don't have any flooding.
All right, thank you, Trustee Norwood. Ontario, we're ready for public comment.
Right. I have a few kudos to the chief, so I'm going to read those first. Sherry says, stand up team. Meek says, job well done team. Industry Play 360 says, Dalton Fire is the best in the Southland. They perform at optimal levels with the little they have to operate with. Bravo, Chief McCain, a true professional. And now I'm going to read the questions. All right. First question is from Ms. Trina Downs. We are there. Sorry. I'm having a hard time. Why are there no dogs in our fire department working?
I'm sorry?
Her actual question is, why are there no dogs in our fire department working?
In regards to to a dog, an animal?
Yeah, she didn't elaborate. I'm sorry.
Okay. You know what? That was talked about before. The problem is that we have a hard enough time taking care of ourselves, let alone an animal. So no, I'm just teasing. Just the responsibility of it, because people in and out, I guess more of a liability. I'll have to get back to Ms. Downs on that one, but basically just the responsibility of it and keeping track of it. Firehouses in the city that have dogs, they have more manpower there, where we have 2 to 4 people minimum at a firehouse. The city has 5 to 10, depending on, they have 5-man companies opposed to us having 2. So there's more people to take care of an animal. So that's probably the best answer I can give. We got to really focus on training, working out to serve our community and running calls. So maybe as the manpower increases, maybe that's something we can look into, especially for a pub ed part. And we can bring it out to, block club parties, things like that moving forward, but something to look into in the future.
All right. Next question is from Ms. Trina Downs again. What is being done to preserve the antique fire engines and pumps?
We have maintenance committee within the fire department. One of our captains oversees the maintenance. We just approved buying new vehicle, so that will help. Our older vehicles are going to be put in reserve or scrap, which had a lot of maintenance issues. We do work with Public Works to the best of our ability. Unfortunately, because of the technology and the types of engines and vehicles that are built nowadays, you have to send a lot of that stuff out because our Public Works is also short-staffed like everyone else, and they can't keep up with some of the more advanced maintenance issues with those vehicles. So basically rotating equipment around. Right now, we do have one of the vehicles sitting right now. We do have a used engine running. So that way we can rotate the miles, keep some of the wear and tear off of the newer equipment until the new engine gets here. So it's basically a work in progress because we've been so used to so long functioning with Band-Aids on everything. We're really trying to get the fleet back up and running properly and efficiently, because our fire engines, they are our toolbox. So they have medical supplies on it. They have our fire equipment. They have rescue equipment. So it's a one-stop shop, and it's important to make sure that they're maintained properly. They respond to every single type of call in the community, being a house fire, to a gunshot victim, to a cat stuck in a tree, to subject to an ambulance call. So it's an all-purpose vehicle. Go ahead, sir. Terry, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking and nobody's sorry about that, Chief.
No, you're good.
Ms. Prima Donna Bridges, with a citizens address question, is there a training program available for future firefighters in the village of Dalton, specifically for Dalton youth?
That is a fantastic question. That is the premise of the ESDA emergency management program that we are in the incipient phase. We just got that off the ground and running. I am also the coordinator for the Fire Academy at Prairie State College, and we're also working with a third-party organization out of the city of Chicago that we're looking at bringing a satellite station as far as getting the word out with the Black Firefighters Brigade, and have a satellite location here in Dalton so we can have another training usage facility, and they can work with us, and we can get the education and word out to all our residents as well as in the surrounding communities, and working with buds with an EMT class as well. So we're in the process of recruitment and retention and diversity as we speak, and we want to get the red carpet rolled out on that as soon as possible. But between the Fire Academy and EMT school and the ESDA program, that will be the foundation to get folks exposed to careers in public safety. So that is what we're doing, and hopefully we can get the word out and get exposure to everybody.
All right, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Trina Downs, next question. Dalton used to have a volunteer fire department. Will that be started again?
No, our call volume is way too high to have a volunteer fire department. Most of the communities are all paid part-time, full-time. There's only one volunteer fire department in the South Side. That's the Guard Homes Fire Protection District. And that is a half square mile community of unincorporated Cook County. Other than that, everyone is a full-time career or part-time paid on call department. And frankly, we need to have full-time professionals working here because of the call volume in our community, as well as all the hazards that we're seeing as we got COVID-19 last year, as we have new variants coming on, the amount of car accidents we respond to, the target hazards in our community. This is a full-time professional environment. We need to make sure we have the right employees and professionals in place to provide good government service for you, the resident.
Fantastic. All right, Ms. Trina Downs, next question has, what is the living conditions of the firehouse, and are they all in use?
We talked about that earlier. It's down to Station 2 is in the process of, like we said, it's down to the studs in the rooms that had issues. The company will be out Thursday to spray all the studs down, or any areas that may have had mold. We'll have a third party come out and that third party will certify it. Then after that, we'll do an air quality test, put it all together, make sure it's OSHA IDAL compliant for any of our members to go back into the building. Station 1, all the members are all functioning out of Station 1 right now.
All right, thank you, sir. And the last question I have right now is from Marion Clay. Will you have CPR training for citizens?
Absolutely. We will get that out as we work with our partners in crime over at Buzz Ambulance, and I can get that taken care of. I've also worked with them as far as getting it out for other communities, and the only issue has been the COVID. With the increase with the COVID outbreak again, a couple of the instructors have been out over there, but again, we work hand in hand. We'll make that happen as soon as the opportunity allows. So, and I would like to thank Miss Trina Downs as well for her asking questions about fire hydrants. The irony of it all is one of the fire hydrants that we checked at 152 in Evers was on the corner of where we had a house fire a couple weeks ago. And because of her asking questions, and we appreciate that, we checked it out and it worked. And it was the same hydrant used to save that house at 152 in Evers. So I appreciate all the questions and keeping us on our toes, and we like to be transparent. And because of the questions asked, we're able to know that it was working right away. So thank you, Ms. Downs, for all your questions. I appreciate it. It helped us. It was beneficial for us.
Fantastic. That is all of the questions, trustee.
Thank you so much, Ontario. Anybody have anything else to say? I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:15.
I motion. I motion. Did you get it?
I motion. You second?
I'll second.
You motion. Tammy, you gonna second? How you gonna do it?
I second.
Okay. So motion by trustee Holmes, second by trustee Brown. At 7:15 p.m. The meeting adjourned.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Have a good night.
Be safe.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.